The following video has been in production for over a year. This video will detail all of the events leading up to the announcement of Aaliyah's music on streaming services and the impact the absence of her music has had on future generations of music listeners. This is not intended to be at all disrespectful to the Houghtons, Hankersons, or the Aaliyah estate. We want to thank them and Empire for bringing her music to us. All rights belong to their rightful owner. All clips and audio have been edited to avoid copyright issues. Thank you to all the fans for making this possible. Enjoy.
It's hard to say what I want my legacy to be, what I want people to say when I'm long gone. I want people to look at me as a full-on entertainer and a good person.
What's up, y'all? This is the Blizzard.
Yo, and I'm the rich one.
And this is Tate Mello, and this is the world premiere.
Here's a young lady over in the US who looks like she's going to be an absolutely huge star.
With a big voice and an even bigger dream.
One of the hottest female artists out here.
From Detroit, Michigan, welcome 10-year-old Aaliyah Hutton.
Funny Valentine.
I guess you wouldn't say I got my start on Star Search, but I was on Star Search.
This 22-year-old superstar has been making big moves for more than a decade.
This is Aaliyah!
Miss Aaliyah.
Give it up, y'all, for Aaliyah!
I go by the alias Rick in Danger. I have been an Aaliyah fan since I was 11. I was 4 years old when Aaliyah died, so I don't have any memories of her career. I think fans of Aaliyah's music are very distraught about her legacy in 2021. It's been 20 years since Aaliyah released her last self-titled album and died an untimely death in a plane crash. In that amount of time, a lot about the way that we consume music and the world in general has changed. No one is buying CDs anymore. And yet, Aaliyah's final two efforts, One in a Million and Self-Titled, have seemingly disappeared from all digital platforms in the last decade. I question what kind of an impact this has on future generations of music listeners. With each passing year, the fans and press alike question why we can't stream Aaliyah's music. With uncertainty over the status of Aaliyah's streaming rights and ownership of her masters, newer generations of music fans can find Aaliyah on t-shirts, puzzles, and calendars. While there hasn't been an official public forum to discuss Aaliyah in almost 20 years, fans of her music survive her legacy through memorabilia and archive pages, showcasing images and physical releases. Despite this, there's still an entire generation of music listeners who are unaware of her discography, which really can't be said for other deceased artists like Tupac or Amy Winehouse.
Can you name an Aaliyah song?
No, I just know how she looks. If you play the song, I'll be like, oh, that's probably her. But I don't really know her songs by name.
And I Rock the Boat, and then I know that, I don't know the name, but I know it goes like, I'll be watching you like a hawk in the sky. Yeah.
Aaliyah the one who sings Try Again?
Yes.
And then Back and Forth, I know.
It's crazy because it's like we know Aaliyah as a singer. To this day, we know how she looks like. But we just can't really recognize her music. And I couldn't really tell you why.
How is that we don't hear her music at all? Like, only people from like the 90s to 2001 and whatever know her, but like we haven't heard her music.
To make sense of the situation and potentially answer some of these questions, I decided to go all the way back and relive Aaliyah's story as if I were experiencing it firsthand, with the help of fans that grew up listening to her music.
Dearest, sweet Aaliyah, I have trouble accepting the fact that you're gone.
so I won't. It'll be like we went for a while without seeing each other.
Missy Misdemeanor Elliott. What up? I'm Brizzy Brat, baby. Hi, I'm Lil Kim. What's up? I'm Aaliyah.
I'm the rich one. I'm kicking it with Aaliyah, Jive Blackground recording artist. And we're trying to find out what she's up to with her multi-platinum plus LP, or potentially multi-platinum plus. I know she's already passed the platinum mark and on her way to double platinum. Why don't you tell me a little bit about how you got started? I'm not sure everybody knows your, the background, and we want to get in depth on the world premiere, find out, who put you on, how you got put on, what's it all about. Tell us what's up.
Wow, I've been singing since I was very little. I started in school plays. My first one was when I was 6, and did a lot of performances around my home area in Michigan.
I've been singing for so long. When I was little, I did a lot of school plays. I did a lot of performing around the Michigan area. And then at the age of 9, I got into it on a professional level. I got agents in New York here.
I did Star Search at 10, Star Search, and performing Gladys Knight when I was 11 in Vegas.
The entertainer got her first break on stage right here in Las Vegas, courtesy of her aunt, performer Gladys Knight.
When singer-superstar Aaliyah received her first platinum record, her aunt, longtime performer Gladys Knight, couldn't have been prouder.
It was really kind of tough not to go and tell people, say, that's my niece.
Knight could have also told people she gave her niece her first shot in the spotlight when she brought her on stage to sing at the Las Vegas Hilton.
And she came out and she performed with me.
In Las Vegas at Bally's Hotel at age 11 for 5 nights. I would come out in the middle of her show.
She did When I Think of Home.
And then we would sing Believe in Yourself together at the end, which was really cool. It was a great learning experience. I learned a lot about the stage and how to really work an audience. The very first night I was very nervous. I stood in one spot and sang my song and got off the stage.
And she did a great job.
And then I did a lot of auditions for record companies, and my uncle Barry Hankerson.
And then at 13 I got my contract. And then on it's been his career.
So why don't you tell me a little bit about, how the album came together. Tell us what's up with this, the title track from your album, Age Ain't Nothing But a Number.
Age ain't nothing but a number, going down ain't nothing but a thing.
Age ain't nothing but a number, point of controversy, but just tell me what's up with that, and, what's that all about? Is that you, is that something you feel? Is that something...
You've been in the game so long, it's like, and you're still so young, but I met you like when you first came out, before she was old enough for me to say she was sexy, but then I waited. You had your 18th birthday, I was like, she's so sexy. Before that, she was cute.
Just must say that you look stunning in the video.
Now look at this. You're a sex symbol, I guess now is what they're telling me.
Of course, in real life as well, but it's just a fantastic video. It's really, really nice.
But those are the lowest trousers I've seen ever woman wear.
Now, being I got you on real quick, I know we gotta you know about all the rumors about you being married and stuff like that. Was there any truth to that?
Man, you are so late.
I know, but you know what it is? It's like, I just had to ask it though.
Right?
That's cool.
Do you like being a sex symbol?
That's cool. I think it's great.
Could those trousers be worn any lower?
No, they couldn't. They were right at the limit.
Nice thing.
Nah, because like the fans, they know. You know what I mean? Like my fans that I love you, thank you for supporting me. They know. Like you need to get like an old vibe or something and like get the answer because that's old. I'm single.
Okay.
Well, okay, how we got that was it was one of my favorite songs on the album. So which is one reason why we chose it for the title. And I do really believe that age nothing but a number. A lot of people tell me that I'm really mature for my age.
Everybody seems to think that y'all are either girlfriend or boyfriend or cousins or friends. let's just get the record straight.
You better go get me a white Jeep.
Well, no, we're not related at all. No, we're not. We're just very close. He's my best friend.
But were they just friends? When a marriage certificate was published by a magazine, it appeared 27-year-old Kelly had married Aaliyah. Although the marriage certificate states that she was 18, Aaliyah was just 15 years old. Both R. Kelly and Aaliyah denied the marriage took place, and few from R. Kelly's inner circle have been willing to confirm the story.
Right. I know that R. Kelly did a lot of the production on your album. Or he produced the entire album, right? Right.
Now, after it all came out, it was really kind of like Aaliyah got villainized somehow.
Yeah, she got blamed.
That's true. Yeah, and that's
right.
the part that I never understood. That was really the biggest part that I never understood, and that's what made the transition to the second album very difficult. We were coming off of a multi-platinum debut album, and except for a few relationships with Jermaine Dupri and Puffy, it was hard for us to get producers.
Wow. So do you think y'all had been blackballed once people started?
It felt like it.
Putting her debut album and her alleged marriage to R. Kelly in the past, Aaliyah started to take more control of her career on her second album.
All right, everybody, in 1994, at the age of 15, my first guest signature, Street But Sweet Sound, made her debut recording, Age Ain't Nothing But a Number, one of the hottest albums of the year. For 2 years, concert dates took this talented young woman on a whirlwind tour across Europe, Japan, and South Africa. And although she's still only a senior at Detroit's High School of Performing Arts, her new album, 1 in a Million, shows us just how much she's grown as an artist and as a lady. Put your hands together. Back now to perform the title track from a new album, 1 in a Million, Blackground Atlantic artist, Aaliyah! Aaliyah!
I think I'm more involved because I was 13 when we started recording it, 13, 14. So I really sat back and watched and learned a lot. And now I like to tell people what I want, what kind of songs I'm really looking for. So actually I'm a lot more involved, which is cool. This is my career and I have the freedom to have creative control, which is great.
You know how they say, sophomore jinx, and to have people really love the 1 in a Million album means a lot to me. I thank the Lord every day and I thank my fans for their support.
The album was released on August 27th, 1996. Since then, it's been certified multi-platinum and named by Rolling Stone as one of the top 100 albums of the 90s.
It's this creative control that led her to Timbaland's doorstep.
Tim sent me a demo when I was doing the second album, and I didn't like the song, but I loved the track. So I called him back, and he flew to Michigan, and we hooked up, and we just clicked, and a friendship grew, and this work relationship grew, and it's just been like that ever since.
I'm not conscious to say I'm 42, which is the age Aaliyah would have been today. Aaliyah, Timbaland, Missy Elliott, I've seen all three of them perform on separate occasions. There's just a certain energy to them that they had.
1996 was a phenomenal year in music. It was the year of Jay-Z's Reasonable Doubt, Lil Kim's Hardcore, Nas dropped It Was Written, Outkast dropped ATLiens, the Fugees dropped The Score. And it was into this sonically forward environment that Aaliyah stepped into after the success of her debut. Craig Coleman was working in A&R for Atlantic Records at the time, of which he is now the CEO. And it was Craig who, after hearing Timbaland and meeting with him for the first time, called Aaliyah and said, "You have to meet this guy." The friendship and chemistry between Timbaland as a producer and Aaliyah as a singer quickly blossomed to this inimitable, double-step, futuristic sound that is forever associated with them as the sonic trailblazers that they were. 1 in a Million, the title track in particular, is a classic example of this. The complexity of Timbaland's ear gives way for Aaliyah to float her angelic vocal through and over cricket sounds and heavy-hitting bass on a track that builds itself slowly from the first moment you hear it into the chorus and even through the track deconstruction on the bridge. And Aaliyah keeps up the entire way.
Missy Elliott and Timbaland's futuristic beats, combined with Aaliyah's sweet and soft vocals, made for a product that even the most seasoned artists in the industry attempted to replicate.
Missy, I loved her work that she did with Aaliyah. I happen to be an Aaliyah fan. I love her voice, and I thought the songs she was singing were just perfect. I thought they were just great for the new breed of music that came in and took over, And I thought, Missy's bad, and she is. She's so bad. She is so bad. She really is.
Hi, I'm Aaliyah. I'm Missy.
Genuine. Chocolate.
futuristic. I'm somewhere in the year 2000. That's my style, like 2000. Yeah.
Aaliyah was one of those artists where she could be on MTV and then also on VH1 because she was like kind of like adult contemporary, like she had that kind of sound.
Music has definitely changed in the way that we consume it since the Much Music and MTV days is completely different. You know, back in those days, a video could become a hit, or a song could become a hit if MTV or Much Music played it. That's kind of what dictated that. In terms of Aaliyah's fame in relative to other stars like Britney or Christina, I definitely feel that she wasn't as big as a Britney or Christina, but I don't think anybody was as big as a Britney or Christina.
I think that while in the 80s you had Michael Jackson and Prince, there was still a definite divide between hip-hop and R&B music relative to the overarching mainstream music that was at the time teen pop or rock.
There was a little bit of a divide between the black and white artists at the time. However, back then, R&B music was mainstream. Brandy was as famous as a Christina Aguilera or as a Britney at that time with Moesha and everything she was doing. And Aaliyah was pretty much right up there. She had a lot of really big hits. She was very commercial, very successful. So while maybe she wasn't as successful as a Britney, she definitely was mainstream.
There was still a pretty big divide between black artists making R&B and hip-hop and white artists making pop. I do have to say, though, that Aaliyah was definitely a pioneer ushering in what people called urban pop. She was making her mark, and she was definitely coming up in the game musically, and her star was definitely on the rise. Unfortunately, it's sad to think about that divide back in the day, that she wasn't labeled a bona fide pop star, because she really was.
Back then, R&B music was way more accepted by the masses for some reason, and I don't know why. I don't know what changed, because R&B is my favorite genre of music, and I really feel that it should be mainstream because it gives a little bit of diversity to what we're hearing on radio. And I feel like the type of music that Aaliyah was making was mainstream. I think that it was classic R&B, but like I said, R&B, that was mainstream.
But I would argue that hip-hop was only just starting to become mainstream at the time. Aaliyah's music is a lot more avant-garde, which is really what made it more susceptible to crossing over.
Hip-hop is kind of like intertwining with a lot of different styles right now, and I think people's interest in hip-hop has peaked, so you're going to see a lot more of it in magazines and things that you didn't see it in before.
Each generation finds its own rhythm and rhymes in music.
I mean, yeah. I think they were just like, nowadays people are not as afraid to do things, you know. As we said before, people were kind of afraid, so now it's kind of okay to do pop, rock, R&B, hip-hop, you know, it's all a culture.
Our generation is rap music.
So it's no surprise to see it dominating the nominees for Choice Male Artist of the Year. I've always bought Hilfiger ever since he first came out because I always felt that it was me. My image is the baggy pants, little tube tops, and I've always loved Tommy, so it's great for me to model his clothes because I really feel comfortable in it.
This is something Aaliyah has always wanted to do. Oh, very proud of her. You know, she wouldn't have to do this for me to be proud of her, but this just adds to it. You know, I'm proud of everything she does. She's a beautiful, lovely young woman.
Thank you, Mom.
I don't think it's a separate. I think it's definitely crossing. I think people are really getting into hip-hop fashion. A lot of people are really noticing it now, and it's not really looked at as a separate genre. I think it's kind of moving into pop and into everything. So.
Movie I've seen over and over with my daughter Anastasia.
Anastasia,
Yeah.
that took me to the Academy Awards. Never forget that.
You look absolutely beautiful.
Thank you very much.
Tell me who you're wearing.
Off the rack, nothing special, just something I saw.
Turn around so we get a full view. And the necklace is by?
I'm wearing David Humphrey. Ring, necklace, earrings, David Humphrey. Love you.
You look wonderful.
Thank you very much.
Have a good time. Your first Academy Award?
First one.
Very nice.
Tell me about your involvement with Anastasia.
Love her character, love what she's trying to do, and definitely feel her emotion in the movie with the song, and hopefully feel my version as well.
Anastasia was cool. My company at the time brought it to me, told me about it. I got to screen it, and I loved it. I love animated movies. And Guy Roche did that song. And at the time, I hadn't even thought that it's a possibility this could go to the Oscars. So when I got that call at 5:30 in the morning, like, you're gonna be on the Oscars. Oh, I can't tell you. It was amazing.
One highlight would be the Oscars when I performed with the Academy Awards. That was absolutely incredible. I'm singing on stage and there's Jack Nicholson, Stone Hunts, there's Robert De Niro. I mean, couldn't ask for anything more. So hopefully I'll be there in another life one day.
Here we go like that. Yeah. Aaliyah, sing.
Well, after 1 in a Million, I toured and promoted that album, and I was tired. I wanted to relax, be with my friends and family for a while, and prepare for the third project. So after a year of relaxing, I started to work on the next project, and then other things came up. So it kind of went a little bit longer than I anticipated. I was very blessed to meet Lorenzo de Bonaventure at Warner Brothers and become a Warner's baby. I'm very thankful to him for giving me the chance to do what I did in Romeo, and to Joel Silver as well. They saw something in me.
Aaliyah went on to star in Romeo Must Die.
In the film, which opens Wednesday, Lee befriends a crime lord's daughter, played by R&B singer Aaliyah. She says making her film debut with Jet was a treat.
I feel we have a lot in common, and it was just a really new and great experience for me.
It's just great. Your name is on the marquee up there.
That's right. It's a wonderful feeling. I can't even tell you.
What's it like being in a movie that's doing this well?
It's beyond words. It really is. I mean, it's a year's work finally coming to fruition, and it's successful. It's the best feeling in the world.
What made you decide to, I guess, go into a movie role, and then specifically why this role?
You're not a person that's been in 1,000 movies. You've been in one. And the words that they're saying from the tippy top of the mountains, impressive debut. What's that like?
It's amazing. It really is. When I went to shoot the film, I was very nervous.
You're a great singer. What else do you do?
Well, of course, I love to sing, and I love to dance and act, and I love swimming.
Well, this is something I've wanted for a very long time. I've always been into full-on entertainment, which is singing and acting and dancing.
I kept telling myself, this is it. This is what you've wanted. This is the real deal. Now you gotta do your thing. You gotta put all of you in this, and hopefully they'll like you. And for people to say it's impressive and you're so natural, I mean, it's the best feeling in the world. I feel like all the hard work, it paid off.
But I wanted to wait for the right time. I wanted to wait for the right project, and Romeo was it. It was just the right role. I love Trish. She's tough. She doesn't take anything off of anybody, and that's what I liked about it. That's what I wanted.
How'd you figure it out? This acting thing?
It's something I've wanted for a very, very long time. Since I was little, I started in singing. I did acting, I danced, I did plays. In high school, I took a bit of drama, but music was first.
Aaliyah performed her 4 songs from the soundtrack at an MTV concert to celebrate the film, which will air this weekend. The combination of martial arts and hip-hop seemed like a natural to producer Joel Silver, who said Aaliyah and Lee showed instant chemistry.
Now, were you familiar with Jet Li before, and what was it like working with him?
Yes, I was familiar with him.
You know, you were also really impactful in the Black community when you were in Romeo Must Die with Aaliyah in 2000s. It's 20 years old now. And, you know, you're an Asian lead. She was a Black lead. At that time, did you know how impactful it was to have you guys both on screen?
I didn't realize, but I know I'm so glad I have a chance to work with Aaliyah. I always remember she's charming, you know, beautiful. And it's great experiences in my life. Thank you for all the African American, you know, they support me.
Yeah.
I love them.
Yeah.
Always.
We love you too.
She and Jack got along right away, and it's really fun. They really have a great rapport.
I mean, I wanted to put him in a video when I first saw him. I'm like, oh, that'd be hot. Put him in a video, we can fight. Never dreamed that I'd actually be in a movie with him and still have him in the video.
Try Again was, of course, the lead single for the Romeo Must Die soundtrack, and it was a vehicle that ushered Aaliyah into the new millennium like a flying Tesla in space before Tesla was even a thing.
I love the song Try Again. I know that it was kind of like her big runaway hit. I know they played it on Much Music all the time when I was younger. Much Music was the Canadian MTV, and I would see the video all the time. I think that the track itself has aged really well over the years. I really do. I think that it's become a staple, not just her discography, but in early 2000s R&B in general.
Try Again to me is the thriller of the new millennium, and the fact that it was the first song to go #1 solely based on airplay is my favorite fact of that song because it is one of the clearest examples of what the new millennium was. Cutting edge, futuristic, sleek, sexy, and cool. And the reason why Aaliyah sold it so well is because that is also exactly who she was. Nobody else could have given Try Again the life that Aaliyah gave it.
Which might explain why the accompanying music video won the MTV Video Music Award for Best Female Video in 2000.
I remember watching her win at the MTV Awards in 2000. Like, I remember all of it, and her presence at that time, it was very, very strong.
And this is again testament to her chemistry with Timbaland, and in this case with Static Major, who wrote the song.
21-year-old Aaliyah makes this year's sizzling list because her film career has become red hot. Playing a vampire in the upcoming Queen of the Damned is something Aaliyah can really sink her teeth into.
I just do what I love. I work hard. I put my all into everything I do, whether it be acting, whether it be singing, and I don't worry about anything else. I leave it in God's hands.
By late 2000, it was pretty clear that Aaliyah was set to become a huge movie star in Hollywood. While she was only in one movie throughout her life, she had already filmed the adaptation of Anne Rice's novel Queen of the Damned. And I went out for Queen, I worked hard to get that part, and was set to star in the Matrix sequels, which is a pretty big deal. And the same for the Matrix as well. I haven't started filming my part just yet. They've started filming already, but I'll go in the end of May for a few weeks to start, and then I'll go to Australia later on. Maybe early next year, I think. I don't really know that much about it. They're being very secretive, which I totally understand. I know her name is Z. She's a tough girl, but I can't really go into the details. You know, it's a top secret type thing. So I have to wait and be patient and see.
Aaliyah was supposed to be, yes, in the movie. This was her movie. This was her movie. When we brought it to her, she was so enthusiastic about it, and she wanted it.
Aaliyah was to play this part. She was our Sparkle.
She was our Sparkle.
And she was absolutely perfect for it.
Sisters, and they have a group together that's trying to kind of make it in the music industry. And in the course of the film, things happen with the group, and they break off, and Sparkle goes on to have her own career. So it deals with music, which would be cool. I think the fans will get a kick out of that.
She wanted it, and she was preparing for it, and we were going to do this thing, and Warner Brothers had the project, and we were just all down with it, and just happened.
Wow. Yes. Unfortunately, it just didn't go that way.
It wasn't like it is now. Fans didn't have the same kind of access to their favorite singers. They couldn't just comment on Aaliyah's Instagram profile asking her where the album was. When somebody was releasing an album, you would know, because the promotion cycle started on TV or the radio.
The way that music is consumed has just changed exponentially. Every generation could argue that, but I guess I can only compare it to when I was younger. I remember before iPods were really even a thing, you would kind of just get recommendations, and I remember watching TRL.
Please say hi to Aaliyah. Say hi to Aaliyah, everybody.
I do remember watching MTV and music videos being on all day, and then at night they would play like Making the Video or Diary or something like that.
MTV's Total Request Live, otherwise known as TRL, was a show shot in Times Square from 1998 till 2008. It was hosted by the then unknown Carson Daly. Fans would phone in and request their favorite artists or bands' music videos. This would ultimately become a place for artists to promote their albums, singles, and was essentially an indicator of commercial success.
All the music videos would be ranked, and the top 20, top 10, countdowns every weekend.
I discovered a lot of music that I liked from music videos, and I think it was really important because obviously there was no YouTube at the time, there was no social media, so this was like the only time people would see these artists.
It was indicative of an artist's success in the fact that if you had #1s on TRL, you were most likely #1 on the radio, having a lot of airplay, but it wasn't necessarily essential to an artist's success. while they did play Aaliyah, she was a lot more likely to be found on BET. And they also had a similar countdown show, but that one was called 106 in Park.
It's Tuesday, June 6th, and today is definitely going down.
At that time, there was no entity or group that captured the young black teenage girl imagination. Knowing that Rap City had hip-hop, 106 in Park was like, can we do this in the pop realm?
Well, this show was different from TRL, quite honestly, because there was black people on it. It was about us, it was for us, it was by us.
And only if they had like 1 or 2 videos, like that was literally the only time you'd see them, or if they were like on TRL or something.
But the last time Aaliyah was here, she had asked me to close my eyes, said she had a surprise for me. Now, this is live TV. I never surrender my hosting duties on this show, ever. I did for you.
Yes, you did.
And she put in front of my face, just like this. I open my eyes. Like, goes from like this.
This is my friend. Open your eyes.
That, and there's this snake staring.
Oh! What, are you crazy? Get that snake away from me.
Hi to my baby.
Chill, yo.
Chill, yo.
If being on TRL was an indicator of commercial success, imagine what big of a deal you were if you were promoting your album the day of its release on the show.
Record's out today, self-titled. Congratulations.
Yes, thank you very much. I'm really excited.
Take a look at it right there.
I mean, I definitely wanted to take my time in making this album and to put my best foot forward and put 110% into this for my fans. I mean, I aim to please them. I want, of course, please myself and make good music, but I aim to please them. So I wasn't mad at the fact that I had the time to do that and to go back over some of the songs that I'd done before I even did Romeo and fix them and tweak them. So I do feel that in the end it was great because I feel this is my best album. This is the best work that I've done so far. My writers and I, we talk. You know, they ask me how am I feeling just as a person, you know, at this point in my life, the things that I want to talk about, and they incorporated what I told them in the lyrics.
The album is, in my opinion, really good. It's self-titled, Aaliyah. We have 13 songs plus a bonus track. It speaks about relationships, every kind of relationship, from bad ones to good ones to even abusive ones. We have a lot of party tracks, a lot of big, beautiful ballads, as well as subtle ballads. And it's very edgy, it's very dark in some instances, but it's a lot of fun as well.
This past year, you wrapped filming for Queen of the Damned, the Anne Rice novel, and you finished your 3rd album.
It's an interactive show. You're so busy. Was the delay in making this full-length album a lot longer than you thought because of the movies and all that stuff?
And you also signed on to star in the next 2 Matrix.
Yeah. No, it's
the sequel to it.
Sequels.
That's really huge, being in both the new Matrix movies.
I am really excited. It's the Star Wars of our times.
Yeah.
How many hours do you have in a day?
It's a lot of work. It really is. You know, now that I have, dual careers, it's double the workload. But I'm really enjoying it. You know, this is what I've wanted since I was a little girl, and I'm, living a dream.
Now, your album has been out since mid-July, and it's been doing so well. We got to
Thank
congratulate you on that.
I have to thank all of you guys for that. Thank you.
And We Need a Resolution did so good on the countdown. Then we got to know what the next video is, and I hope you're saying it's a song I love.
Yes, it's Rock the Boat.
Yes!
It's Rock the Boat.
Yeah! Now, when can we expect that?
I shoot the video tomorrow, as a matter of fact.
Okay.
And that video should be out, and we're hoping like beginning of September.
I can't wait.
We're actually doing singles back to back. We're doing Rock the Boat first, then we're dropping More Than a Woman. So we got them coming back to back.
What a sexy song. That's a beautiful song.
I love simple things, but very beauteous. I love it. Very beautiful and very gorgeous. So, all right, peace. Got work to do. Get out of here.
Ladies and gentlemen, the world premiere of Aaliyah's premiere.
Bahamas now, after the difficult scene, the underwater scene. It was actually fun. I like to swim. I've always been a kid that like, you know, water. In the pool, mind you.
And I love swimming.
That kind of water. But had a little bit of difficulty at first with the breath regulator. Just couldn't handle it. Had a few moments of panic with that. You have to really take the time out to teach your body how to breathe underwater. So we let go of that. So I ended up having to hold my breath and shoot the scenes. And it was difficult. It was 15 feet deep, so there was a lot of pressure. And but it was worth it because we got some really pretty shots out of it. And now we're here in sun, fun and sun in the Bahamas. Beautiful though. Look at that. Did you catch that? So pretty.
What am I going to say? Aaliyah, you've made me very proud. Lived a wonderful life. Come on in.
The rest, as they say, is history. History that came to a sudden and tragic end on Saturday. That's when Aaliyah's plane crashed after a video shoot in the Bahamas. The impact killed Aaliyah and 8 others.
New questions tonight about the tragic death of a diva. Tonight, the story of Aaliyah's meteoric rise, the fatal plane crash.
It's scary. Really, really, really scary. And I want to be scared tonight.
That was Aaliyah earlier this month, facing her fears at the New York premiere of The Others. She was there with boyfriend Damon Dash, a hip-hop music producer. Who would have imagined just weeks later this young, talented, and beautiful singer-actress would lose her life in a horrific plane crash?
Mayday, Mayday, Cessna J16AA75 experiencing flight difficulty, over. Mayday, Mayday, Cessna J16AA75 experiencing flight difficulty. Did you copy? Roger that, go ahead. Where's the nearest landing strip? Roger that. Tower 1 proceeding at 6122 miles northwest. I'm calling Air Force Base, over. Mayday, Mayday, Cessna J16AA75 going down at 1466. Tower 1 to Cessna J16AA75, repeat. Tower 1 to Cessna J16AA5. Did you copy? Cessna J16AA75. Do you copy? I think we lost him.
The images are shockingly contradictory. We see the videos and movie clips of a young woman so full of energy and bright promise. Then the chilling footage of the crash site in the Bahamas. Aaliyah and 8 others on board the twin-engine Cessna were killed in paradise. They had just finished shooting another video. But while some are wondering whether the plane had been weighed down by too much equipment, possibly causing one of the engines to fail, for those who knew Aaliyah, no explanation will ever ease the pain of their loss.
The video was shot in Miami, part of it, and then it was kind of added on that she would have to go to the Bahamas to shoot some footage.
Gladys Knight had just wrapped up a concert in Las Vegas when she got the news. Traumatized, Knight thought about the 36-year-old son she lost 2 years ago, and she thought about how a higher power helped her through that tragedy.
I was able to go back and draw on that same faith that got me through that. But it is a pain. It is something that you can't really explain to people. The hurt, the depth of it.
She really didn't want to get, when she saw the little plane, you know, she really wasn't too comfortable with that.
Fans mourn, friends remember as an R&B princess takes her final journey. The funeral for Aaliyah brought parts of New York City to a standstill.
Aaliyah's funeral took place here at St. Ignatius Loyola Roman Catholic Church, where such luminaries as Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis have been memorialized.
As a glass-paneled carriage brought the body of Aaliyah to the Manhattan church, a traffic jam occurred along the streets. Dozens of flower arrangements were carried inside as Matrix producer Joel Silver, Mike Tyson, and talk show host Ananda Lewis arrived to say their final farewells.
A trail of tears for Aaliyah. A horse-drawn carriage carried the fallen star's casket through the streets of New York, a somber procession reminiscent of the funeral for Princess Diana. The royalty of African-American entertainment gathered on this day to remember the R&B princess, Aaliyah. Among the mourners joining Aaliyah's grief-stricken parents, her aunt Gladys Knight, Aaliyah's boyfriend Damon Dash, fellow hip-hop honcho Sean Puffy Combs, R&B singers Usher, Maya, and Monica, hip-hop artists Jay-Z, Busta Rhymes, Lil' Kim, Missy. As Aaliyah's casket was moved from the famed Frankie Campbell Funeral Chapel, her heartbroken mother, Diane Houghton, gently acknowledged the crowd of mourners.
As 22 white doves, each representing 1 year of Aaliyah's life, were released, the singer's mother broke down in tears. It was a tender moment that encapsulated everyone's feeling of loss and sadness for a life that was cut tragically short. At Cipriani's restaurant across town, a video tribute featuring interviews with Aaliyah's family and friends played, as fans publicly mourned the loss of the singer who, by giving much during her life, will be remembered long after her death. More than 1,000 fans sang one of Aaliyah's songs, One in a Million, as her casket was carried out of the church, making its way to Ferncliff Cemetery, where the singer will be laid to rest.
Up next at 10:30. See who showed up, who's been back, and how their looks have changed over the years on an exclusive Best of the Red Carpet VMA edition. See what didn't make it on air? Log on to MTV.com.
I know we actually dedicated our song on the Soul Train Awards to her emotions.
She was one of a kind, and we value her pricelessly. And I do wish that wherever she is, she could see and feel the love that she's getting from everyone. People who knows her, people who don't, who truly miss her.
Are you guys going to be part of the tribute at all to Aaliyah? And if not, just what do you think about the fact that they're going to do this tonight?
It's so wonderful. I'm so happy to hear that they're doing the tribute.
Pop princess was queen of the jungle. Of course, the VMAs are always a big party, but MTV is also taking an opportunity to remember one of their own.
I'm paying tribute to Aaliyah, so that's the main reason why I'm here, and that's what I'm really looking forward to, because some of her friends will be up on stage, and it's just such a tragedy and such a horrible loss.
Her spirit lives on. This is, part of her legacy. I'm not going to let it die, and she will live forever in each and every one of our souls, especially mine.
And in her own words, I quote, "From the bottom of my heart to the depths of my soul, I am truly happy, and we are all truly happy to have been given a gift like you, Aaliyah. We love you. I love you."
Aaliyah's album will hit #1 next week on the Billboard charts.
Now the Best R&B Video Award went to Destiny's Child, while Lady Marmalade, the Moulin Rouge-inspired video, won the night's highest award for Best Video.
Everything is worth it.
Now, some touching moments of the night included a special tribute to the late R&B singer Aaliyah.
Aaliyah gave more to us in her 22 years than most will ever contribute in a lifetime.
That's you too.
And the prestigious Video Vanguard Award this year honored the legendary group U2.
I think we have to make every record like it's our last.
Another memorable moment, Britney Spears' sexy performance with a snake, which her boyfriend NSYNC's Justin Timberlake enjoyed immensely.
Dance good, booty look good, everything is good.
A little bit more information than I care to know.
Sorry, I got a little personal.
For today, Jill Rappaport, NBC News, New York.
Wow. Up next, how to protect your financial future right after this.
The time
Eyewitness News.
Tonight, concern and outrage from parents about a party where a stripper performed for high school football players. Plus, we're live in Denver for a wrap-up of tonight's showdown between the Giants and the Broncos.
Twitter, thanks for staying up. Those stories in a moment. But first, some big basketball news tonight. Very big basketball news. The best basketball player ever tonight, all but confirming he's coming back. Michael Jordan.
This shot showing you lower Manhattan, and everything is actually in pretty good shape now as we work into clear.
Okay, I have got to interrupt you right now.
Sorry.
Richard Hack, thank you very much. We appreciate the book is called Hughes. We want to go live right now and show you a picture of the World Trade Center where I understand, do we have it? No, we do not. We have a breaking story, though. We're going to come back with that in just a moment. First, this is Today on NBC.
It's 8:52 here in New York. I'm Bryant Gumbel. We understand that there has been a plane crash on the southern tip of Manhattan.
And there has been some sort of explosion. We don't fully know the details. There is one report, as of yet unconfirmed, that a plane has hit the World Trade Center.
So you have no idea right now?
There's another one. Another plane just hit. Right? Oh, my God.
Aaliyah died 2 weeks before 9/11.
In 2001, Kukoi was 10 years old and fully immersed in American life.
My mom was the one.
But when she asked her dad to go to the fair that year,
And my dad was like, no, we're not going. We just can't go this year. Maybe if things cool down, we'll go next year. We just can't go this year. And that was the time where I noticed, okay, well, something's happened that we can't even go outside to go to the state fair.
On September the 11th, enemies of freedom committed an act of war against our country. Americans have known wars, but for the past 136 years, they have been wars on foreign soil. On my orders, the United States military has begun strikes in Afghanistan. These carefully targeted actions are designed to disrupt the use of Afghanistan as a terrorist base of operations and to attack the military capability of the Taliban regime.
Good morning, everybody. Last night, on my orders, America's armed forces began strikes against ISIL targets in Syria. I made clear that as part of this campaign, the United States would take action against targets in both Iraq and Syria, so that these terrorists can't find safe haven anywhere.
My fellow Americans, a short time ago, I ordered the United States Armed Forces to launch precision strikes on targets associated with the chemical weapons capabilities of Syrian dictator Bashar al-Assad.
Americans have known the casualties of war, but not at the center of a great city on a peaceful morning. Americans have known surprise attacks, but never before on thousands of civilians.
This is a super Western explanation, but I think at the time, at least for the case of youth, it wasn't really a mainstream platform to discuss things like Islamophobia or anti-racism. Whatever was televised regarding youth culture was never representative of all lived experiences.
I think kids definitely are more in the know about politics. I just think it has a lot to do with the internet and social media, because it's just so much more accessible.
I think there has been a culture shift from the 24-hour news cycle to platforms that give you the opportunity to curate the content that you're consuming.
If you bring a child into this world knowing you financially or even mentally cannot provide everything she said was facts.
I don't think platforms like TV provided the same kind of platform to discuss everyday issues the way that social media does. I think priorities have definitely changed from generation to generation, but the internet has really birthed things, like the sub-communities of people who enjoy discussing their favorite musical artists.
In the case of Aaliyah, up until this point, it's really been fans discussing her online that have kept the legacy alive in absence of the music.
What you got a snake for?
This is my baby, this is my pet. It was a gift given to me today by my uncle, Barry Hankerson. I gotta give a shout out to him. And you know what, I don't have a name for him yet, so I was thinking if you guys could help me name, can you guys help me name the snake?
The way music is consumed today is so different from how it was in 2001, even from how it was like 10 years ago. TikTok and like YouTube have such a big say in what songs are doing well, what is like the cool music people are listening to.
And among the early 2000s, I, for one, was mainly consuming music through like radio. And then if not radio, it would be CDs. Like seeing those kind of dwindle in popularity as MP3 players and stuff came in. And then the digital forms of media were not only more popular and convenient because of like the status that kind of came with it, but the accessibility on the internet.
While fans online complain about this inability to stream Aaliyah's music, often attributing it to Blackground and the estate, people have to remember that Blackground really wasn't in the same financial situation that it is now. The estate and Blackground were working together to put out compilations, but on CDs instead of streaming.
I think it's an honor. Aaliyah is a beautiful, very talented young woman, and she will definitely be missed. And I mean, I think we're definitely two different artists, but if some of her success rubs off on me, I have no problem with that.
I remember being in middle school when JoJo first came out with her single, Leave, Get Out, and I remember all the girls wanted to look like her and be her, and then she came out with Too Little Too Late.
And the single just came out, and I'm like, she's gonna be something big.
But I do remember in high school thinking and wondering where she was and why she dropped off the scene and didn't really know why.
Would you change any of your path to today? You know, do anything different?
So I had to sue my old label, and I had to fight for a long time for my freedom to be able to release music. So you know, I'm in a lawsuit. I filed a lawsuit against them. I'm not playing around, and they're gonna. I know justice will be served. I really do believe it. I believed it'll be resolved shortly. And it wasn't like it was me, you know, I'm certainly not anti-label.
Yeah.
I just wanted to work.
Yeah.
And it was a really frustrating, unfortunate situation.
Everybody is ready for an album, so
I'm ready too. It's a wicked fucked up situation. I'm like totally exasperated by it. I'm honestly really pissed off, and I'm tired of being politically correct, to be honest with you. And spent a lot of time and money to finally be able to get free, signed to a new contract, and be able to move forward and be where I am now to release new music officially.
When I first met with Barry, who is her uncle, when I sang for him, we went to his house. I sang for him along with my executive producer, Vincent Herbert. We were all on the couch, me and my mother and Vincent. And after I sang, he got teary-eyed, and he said, it was like baby girl, who's Aaliyah, was over your shoulder saying, look at what I brought for you, Uncle Barry. We all started bawling our eyes out.
While Blackground Records saw major success, going as far as releasing their albums for purchase on digital platforms like iTunes, somewhere in the early 2010s, all of Blackground's catalog disappeared. During this time, artists could not release music despite recording several incarnations of a record, leading some fans to believe that the label had gone bankrupt. This speculation would later, allegedly, prove to be true.
And Tony, I know you ain't got nothing to do with this, but they ain't paid me my damn money.
They didn't?
Oh, they paid me my damn money, Tony. See, I want my money.
I know that's right. I will make sure you get your money.
Spaghetti and chicken. I want my damn money, Tony.
Oh, actually, I remember this. I was actually around for this. In the summer of 2012, reports started circulating that an Aaliyah album featuring previously unheard vocals would be produced by Drake and 40.
Today you put out a track.
Yes, sir.
With Aaliyah.
Yeah.
How does that feel for you, brother?
People should be really excited, man. You know, a lot of people thought it was my single. It's not my single. It's all off of an Aaliyah project that me and 40 are, you know, commanding, and 40 is just doing some incredible music right now.
My brother,
and so,
40.
yeah, so, you know, to get 13, 14 new Aaliyah songs, I mean, everybody should be excited. It's not about me, it's not about 40, it's really about her and her fans and us just getting an opportunity to give you something that we feel is great. And, you know, the people around her, everybody from her family to her old, you know, management and label were just like, if there's anybody out that could do it right now, it's me and 40, and that was an honor. And we're gonna pull in some classic people, like anybody who used to work with Aaliyah, or you know that was essential in her career. We definitely hope to have them involved. So.
Tell me what's the real situation on this Aaliyah?
Aaliyah and Drake, huh?
Please, I need to know, because every day I would get a new story that you were involved and you weren't involved.
No call has been made to me.
What if the call came? What would your response be?
Well, my response would be a little different, because I have to respect her family. She has a mother, she has a brother, she has a father that she's very close with. And until they come and say, we're ready to do an Aaliyah album, then I don't really want to, step over and try to get into that, because it's very sensitive, for us as, just fans and everybody would love to hear an Aaliyah album. I always say, for regular people, after that, people go on with their lives, but this is her family who knew her before she was Aaliyah the superstar.
40 called me.
40?
Yeah, 40. Drake didn't call me 40. He texted me. He was like, this was not supposed to be. Like, came to me in a different situation. It wasn't even about an album, what he was explaining to me. So I didn't know. Like, when everybody was calling me, I kind of like, I don't want to hear that mess. So I stayed out of it until he actually called me. You know what I'm saying? And I heard the blog sites, and I saw if he do it, it should be with me and him and Missy. Absolutely.
Has he contacted you about it?
No, he hasn't. And I don't know who, that's what I'm trying to say. I don't know. That's where it becomes frustrating. I don't know what's going on. But the proper way to do that will be for me, him, and Missy to be all on the record. I produce it. I big up people for just caring about me and caring about me and Missy about that. But we really removed ourselves from that. Like, I didn't want to hear nothing about it. To put on this album or to put it on his record or whatever, however it be, it would just not be right.
How could he do that without coming to you?
Well, it's a lot. You can do anything in this world, like, because I don't own Aaliyah rights.
Mm-hmm.
That's just my baby sister.
Right.
I don't own her masters. I can't be the dictator of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, the people who own her before was the Hankersons, so they have to make that decision.
While the planned Drake and Aaliyah album was never released by Blackground in 2012, many questioned how Blackground could afford to release a Drake-led album with unreleased Aaliyah vocals if the label allegedly couldn't afford to release music from their other artists. In 2013, Blackground became the focus of a legal battle in which a company called Reservoir claimed that they owned Aaliyah's masters, alleging that another company, called Crave, had illegally released Aaliyah's discography on iTunes. This suggests that Blackground sold Aaliyah's masters to Reservoir. Because Barry Hankerson, Aaliyah's uncle and head of Blackground Records, had sold Aaliyah's masters to Reservoir, it's more than likely that this is the reason as to why popular artists like Drake and Chris Brown could sample her music. On January 16th, 2021, on what would have been Aaliyah's 42nd birthday, CMG Worldwide, a company serving as Aaliyah's estate on behalf of Aaliyah's brother and mother, released a statement acknowledging the frustration of fans. The statement claims that the estate was working hard to preserve the legacy and intellectual property of Aaliyah. The statement also revealed that because they had no rights to Aaliyah's music, they had no control over putting her music up on streaming services, but were working hard to do so. It wasn't until August 2021 that fans received an update on the status of Aaliyah's streaming, but it wasn't from the Aaliyah estate. That month, a mysterious account appeared on Instagram titled Blackground 2.0 with a link to a website stating Aaliyah is coming, referencing advertisements for her second album in 1996. The next day, Rashad, Aaliyah's brother, published a statement on behalf of the Aaliyah estate, claiming that they did not approve of Blackground and their uncle Barry Hankerson's decision to release Aaliyah's music without their permission. This was accompanied by the hashtag #IStandWithAaliyah. Because CMG only owns Aaliyah's name and not her music, many were confused as to whether the estate would receive any royalties from streaming, a question which would later prove to be confirmed by Billboard. The following day, the Blackground 2.0 website launched, showcasing all of the albums previously held by Blackground. Despite this, it's still unclear as to whether artists previously signed to the label will profit off of these re-releases.
Aaliyah's music is finally going to be available on streaming. After all of this time, a whole new generation of people is finally going to be able to hear her music.
But as far as legacy, I feel like since her death, she's been robbed.
The absence of Aaliyah's music for the last 20 years certainly shifted what her legacy ultimately became, and it will always be that way. She famously said near the end of her life that she wanted people to remember her as a full-on entertainer and a good person.
In 2021, Aaliyah, the princess of R&B, has become almost invisible in the music industry. Making her music available to stream would definitely help revive her legacy. I think newer generations would love to hear her music if it was accessible.
Because the music went missing in action almost immediately upon her death, and functionally stayed missing for 2 decades, it really fell onto the shoulders of her loving fans to carry her past the new millennium that she never made it out of, and into the future where she didn't exist anymore.
I think for so long, Aaliyah's legacy has been reduced in a way to just her image and her beauty, when she's so much more than that. It'll be really exciting to see how she survives through her music in 2021 and beyond.
I think it would just allow people or give them the opportunity to listen to her music.
It was really a labor of love across many voids, countries, ages, and again, 20 years, that kept Aaliyah alive after death.
Even 2 decades later without her music, Aaliyah has managed to resonate across generations. If that isn't a testament to her legacy as a musician, it most certainly is telling of her greatness as a human being. For the first time ever, newer generations of music listeners will finally have the chance to comprehend just what it is about her artistry that has left so many patient for its return. But Aaliyah's legacy doesn't need a revival, because Aaliyah's music isn't coming. It's finally here.
It's hard to say what I want my legacy to be, what I want people to say when I'm long gone. I want people to look at me as a full-on entertainer and a good person.